I'm going to record this meeting as usual. Everybody agrees? Yes, your thumbs up.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And let's see if I can find it here. All right. Do you all see our classroom? Yes?
Yes.
Good, right. So we are going to work with this study guide that was a guide and help for you to read this article here, lifelong learning, why do we need it, right? So the very first exercise asked us to complete the chart using appropriate strategies. Which strategies did you use? Let's see, Noelia. Noelia, I want you to speak today, right? So Noelia, which strategies did you use to complete the chart?
The scanning and skimming.
Okay,
Strategies.
skimming, scanning, all right. When you skim and scan the text, especially what parts of the text do you pay attention to?
To title, to the I don't know if it is and the size of the paragraph, the content words.
Okay,
the
content
words
word,
that
okay,
seem to be very
keywords
important.
and phrases, good. And when you said the size of the paragraph, what especially? I mean, remember the paragraph organization.
Boundaries.
Okay.
Yes, the majority.
Okay, paragraph boundaries, okay? Good, right. So, as you can see here, the title is Lifelong Learning, Why Do We Need It? The author is Marian Lal and Penniman Salamati. Wait a minute, Diana Didi needs to get into the class. This is found, or you can find this text in this site that is called Elsevier, which is a site for academic articles, right? A very well-known and very interesting site. So for whatever subject, whatever field of studies you need academic articles, you can find Elsevier, right? And then this Procedure is a social and behavioral sciences. It's a magazine, right? Which specializes in behavioral sciences, right? It's social and behavioral sciences. And within that magazine, which was published in 2012, we can find these articles. So when in class, in the chart, we are required to complete the chart. We complete the chart with that information, okay? The source, the field. Now, something that I did not ask you is the length of the article. And as you can see here, the length is from page 399 to 403, okay? Yes? Good. Any questions about this exercise? No? Good.
And about the author.
Yeah, yes.
And I just found these organizations, but I cannot find a specific name.
Here. These are the authors.
Ah.
Okay. So you, I mean, you have the title, right? There's the title, and then under the title,
yes.
you can find the authors. Generally, that's the order in which academic articles are presented. Okay. Afterwards, you have an abstract. Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Yes.
So the source is Procedure, Social and Behavioral Sciences.
Exactly.
That is the source.
Exactly. That's the source. That's the magazine.
The magazine.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Yes.
Anna, I wrote a sciencedirect.com. Is it wrong?
Yes, I wrote that too.
Okay, but that's the address, the URL where you can find the magazine.
Okay.
Ah,
Okay.
okay.
So I know that I know it's kind of ambiguous because that's the source too, but that is when it says available online at that address. Okay,
Okay.
right? But where you find where this article was taken from was that magazine, Procedia. Yes?
Okay.
Good.
Thank you.
No, it's okay. So then, one of the issues here in point B, after skimming and scanning the whole text, the idea is to try to identify the number of sections that we find in this text, right? So the first section that we find is here the what? What does it say here?
Abstract.
The abstract.
Yeah,
Okay,
abstract.
the abstract. What do you think an abstract is?
I think it is a brief summary
Okay.
about the whole article.
Kind.
Exactly, right? It's a brief summary about the whole text, right? Then after the abstract, we find the introduction, okay?
Introduction.
The introduction. Good.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
What do you need, Ser?
Because I couldn't listen to you.
Okay, after the abstract, which is, as you said, a brief summary, there is the introduction, right? The introduction is where the topic is going to be presented. The author is going to state what his or her thesis, right? The same as an essay, right? So in the introduction, there is a kind of state of the art, perhaps, and generally we are going to find the author's statement, right? The author's thesis, the author's stance, or also the purpose of the article, okay? That's in the introduction. And then here, as you can see, the introduction says 1.1. The introduction has several parts. Then in 1.2, it says material and methods. 1.3, results. 1.4, discussions. And then the conclusion, okay? So why do we pay attention to the different sections? Because we need to know the kind of text we are going to read. So what kind of text is that?
An essay?
No, it is not an
An
essay.
article.
Do
It's
you,
an
I mean,
article.
do you, when you write essays, we've discussed essays, right, last year. So do we have all these sections in an essay where we find, for example, material and methods, results, discussions?
No, it's just a report.
It's a research.
Okay, good, Andres. This is a research article, right? In this case, it's a review article, as it says here, material and methods. This review article begins with the definition of LLL, yes? And then goes on with describing of what happens following learning, right? So this idea, what we are getting into is into these academic texts, but not just texts that we can find in manuals or in course books, but texts that are for the academia and university, and they sometimes describe research, right? Research done in an area as it is expressed here, the behavioral sciences, right? Social and behavioral sciences. So we are facing an academic text. And as Andres said, this text is shows or describes a research, right? It describes research. Research done, I mean, more than, it doesn't involve subjects, but it involves bibliography, right? A concept, all right? Good. Questions so far? No? All right. So,
Sorry,
yes,
about the abstract and the introduction.
yes.
So, which is the difference? There is a main difference between the abstract and the introduction, because
Yes.
when I read the abstract, I can find some features of. I will write an introduction as it is the abstract.
No, they are completely different, right? Perhaps, as you can see here, the abstract has only 4 or 5 lines, right? And the idea is, as Sergio pointed out, is to summarize, right? To give a kind of preempt and to summarize the whole article, which is, if you read the abstract and the introduction, they are completely different, because in the introduction, there is the development of what has been stated in the abstract. What's more, both abstracts and introductions are when you write a research paper, or when you write a paper, it could be a theoretical paper too. The introduction is the last part that you write, right? You write first the body, the development, then the conclusion, then you write the introduction, because in the introduction you need to explain what you are going to do and enlarge that what you are going to do. But the abstract also includes parts of the conclusion, right? Like, for example, here, or in this case, this review article is an attempt to present the main advantages which follow lifelong learning. All right? So as you can see, there is a difference between the abstract and the introduction. Okay? Is it a little bit clearer?
Anna,
Yes.
sorry. It is okay to say the abstract is a sorry. It summarizes the main content of the text.
Yes, it
and
summarizes.
Introduce and introduction introduce the topic.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
In the abstract you also have there is also the topic. You can find the topic there, right? But the abstract is the summary. Imagine this. Imagine that you are doing some kind of research because you need to, I don't know, for language and culture, you need to discuss a certain topic. So you need to find bibliography on that topic. And you go into the internet, you go to Elsevier and you find, I don't know, let's say the Second World War, right? You want to research on the Second World War. Now, what about the second? I mean, you are going to find like thousands of articles, and you are not going to read thousands of articles to see which ones you really need to read in depth. So what are you going to read? The abstract, because the abstract summarizes the whole article. Okay? Is it clearer now?
Yes, it's more general, the abstract.
Exactly. Anyway, people, we are going to, I think that the second half of the year, we are in fourth, we are going to study in detail the different moves, according to John Swales, the different moves that an abstract, a well-written abstract should have, right? But don't worry about it. Now what we are trying to do is to recognize, just recognize, identify the different parts of research papers, right? In this case, this is a review article of a research paper, okay? Yes?
Right.
Okay.
Okay, Anna.
Yes.
Point C, after what kind of text are we going to read? It says, what genre does it belong to? I think it's descriptive.
Okay, there we go, there we go. So the idea is that the genre, think about the genre and the kind of text. As you said, it's mostly descriptive because it describes, right, the whole, in this case, the concept, which is the concept that is describes LLL, that means lifelong learning, okay? So it is mostly, predominantly descriptive. There is no narration here. Do you all agree?
No.
No.
Yes.
No.
Sorry, but
Okay. Moni?
I can, yes, I can tell the difference between descriptive and argumentative.
Okay.
I think that in this article I can find evidence for lifelong learning, for instance. So in that way, I think that this is argumentative. I can't find description here. I don't know.
No, because I mean,
what do we understand by description?
Okay.
Or by
okay, let's see. So it's mostly descriptive and expository. Perhaps that's clearer, right? This is descriptive and expository, not argumentative. Generally, with argumentation, there is one stance that the author takes one stance and discusses his or her stance in contrast with another, right? He defends his point of view. Okay. Here there is no defense. There is no defense of any point of view. Okay. There is not one argument and a counter argument. That's another kind of argumentation, right? This is mostly expository because it's telling you what. This is also one of the other questions that you were required to answer. That means it's telling you what the benefits of lifelong learning. Now, what is another question would be, what's the writer's stance? What is the writer's stance? Are they for or against lifelong learning? What do you think?
Definitely, I think they are. Well, they justify the. Oh, sorry. The
but I mean, just answer this: are they for or against?
For.
They are for. Okay. What linguistic exponents? Tell you that they are for lifelong learning?
I wrote some verbs that I found that they have a positive connotation.
Like
I wrote enhances, stimulates, empowers, and benefits.
Definitely, right, definitely. And then the repetition, the direct repetition of benefits. The word benefit or benefits in the plural is repeated all throughout the article. So this,
and it's used, it's used as a noun and as a verb.
And as a verb too, exactly, right? So the lexical choice also the lexical choice also tells us that the writer is for lifelong learning, right? So what he does, or what they do, because they are two authors, what they do is to describe and present, describe and present the benefits of this concept. Okay, that's why we would say that it's mostly descriptive and expository. There is no argumentation. Then we are going to see argumentative texts, right? Okay. Right. Any other?
And I agree with you. Rosario is talking.
Good.
And I found that it is expository mainly.
Okay, all right. That would be another good answer. Mainly expository. Yes. Yes, I would accept both, right? Expository and descriptive.
And then in the linguistic exponents, I thought that in genitive is the ing. I couldn't.
The gerund.
Gerund. That's. But I had doubts with that, with the linguistic exponent, because I was, yes.
Rob, When you said the
Yes.
gerund, okay, why would you choose the gerund? Because the question here is what linguistic exponents are used to introduce them in the text, right? So let's go. We are talking about the benefits, right? It says what are the benefits of lifelong learning? So
they listed the different benefits.
Very good. They are enumerated. They are enumerated. Okay. So
yes.
Let me see. For example, here in the discussion, first, second, third, fourth, right? So what are these? What do we call them? What do we call them? Yes, these are connectors. What kind of connectors? Enumerators. Okay? Yes? These are, for example, one possibility. You said, well, the benefits are introduced by the use of enumerators, such as first, second, and third, and fourth, and so on.
Lexical signposts.
Okay. Yes, I
agree. Okay. These are lexical signposts. They are also called lexical signposts. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Ana.
No, you're welcome. So now in letter F, you have to paraphrase the differences between formal and informal learning. Did you have, sorry, first of all, let's see. What does paraphrase mean? I guess that we covered that our last meeting, right? Is to explain what we read, what we understand and comprehend with our own words, all right? So did you have any difficulties in this paraphrasing, in explaining these two concepts, right? Formal and informal learning, no?
No.
No questions? Okay, right. Shall we go on?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. And then you had to write the main idea of the text in one well-written compound complex sentence. All right, that we are going to check this if we have time, right, in different groups. Okay, we are going to discuss this in different groups. So, any questions about this part of the text, this part of the task? No?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, Andres?
H.
H, yes. What's the writer's stance? Okay. So what did we say about the writer's stance?
That's the question. I don't know what is that.
Okay, what is
What they think, I think.
The
What they
position.
think. Yes.
Okay, the stance is what they think, their point of view.
Okay.
Okay, what they think, and it's their point of view. That would be their thesis. So what is the writer's thesis? We know that they are for lifelong learning, right? Okay. Why? How would you summarize that, their position, their point of view? What did you write? Give me one or two examples.
Me here, if you want.
Yes, Andre?
I wrote, the writer's stance is that LLL help people to have an active and meaningful life instead of years of sitting around and watching life pass us by.
Okay, good. Good, that's a good possibility. Another possibility. Who can?
Here, Lucia.
Okay, Lou.
I wrote that the writer's stance is characterized by praise, or positivism towards the topic that is lifelong learning.
Okay, right. But Lou, there, the only thing that of what you're saying, the only thing you are saying is that they have a positive stance, a positive attitude towards the concept. But what is that positive attitude? Why do they think that lifelong learning has a lot of benefits? Because they have said it is beneficial to have a richer and full life. Okay?
Okay.
Yes?
Yes.
Any other? I would like to see.
Yes, Anna.
Okay,
Sorry.
who? Give
Here.
me your names.
Andrea, here.
Okay, Andre.
I have doubt with the question.
No, wait a minute, Andre, wait a minute. Let's finish with this, the writer's stance, right?
Okay,
Let's see,
perfect.
I mean, another possibility. Diana, Didi?
Yes.
Okay, can you read yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Throughout all the text, the writer states that LLL is extremely beneficial. For this reason, they say, we should keep on learning, otherwise we will soon be left behind. In other words, the writers claim it is very important that we stay sharp mentally.
Okay, good, very good, okay? That's, I mean, it's like saying, it is beneficial because such and such a thing, okay? Good.
Okay.
All right. Any other? Let's see, who's there? Rosario Irazabal, can you? Can you, Ro?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Okay. For me, of course, it is 4 because they talk along all the article about the benefits and not the disadvantages, for example, about the lifelong learning. So
okay, all right, good. Okay, that's good. Now, yes, Andrea, we have 10 minutes.
Oh, okay, sorry.
It's unbelievable. I mean, these virtual classes are shorter. I guess that they are shorter than our meetings at the TDC.
Yes.
Okay, so Andre.
No, I have doubt with, for example, when you ask what kind of text are we going to read, it is okay to say it is an academic text. And what genre does it belong to? I wrote mainly expository with characteristic of the script informative and analytical. It's okay to say all that?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
That's perfect, right? That's perfect. Now, remember, I mean, when it says what kind of text are we going to read, and you say it's an article, all right? I mean, you need to specify in this case what kind of article, right? Right. It's an academic text, but an academic text could also be a text taken, I mean, a fragment taken from a manual, a course book. Okay. So the idea is try to be a little bit more specific. I mean, as time goes by, try to be more comprehensive in your answer. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Good.
Thank you, Anna.
Any questions as regards these questions that you want to enlarge a little bit more?
Yes, me, Maria.
Okay, Mari. Tell me.
About the linguistic exponents.
Right.
Because I look for it in the internet, and I found that were the words we used to introduce. So I put as or powerful benefits as the following.
Okay.
For the next as the following.
Okay.
It's very repetitive.
Okay, very good.
Way
okay, thank you, Maria. So, as regards that, the question is, what are the benefits of lifelong learning, right? So we know that there are benefits because the authors wrote. The benefits, for example, the benefits are first, second, third. So what linguistic exponents are used? As we said before, enumerators, right? Connectors that are enumerators. Other linguistic exponents, as Maria found out, are, for example, one of the benefits is as follows, or the following benefits can be seen in, okay? So all these phrases are linguistic exponents. And as Maria mentioned before, linguistic exponents has to do with language, right? So the idea is, what phrases, I would have asked you, what phrases are used to introduce the benefits, right? But we are in third year and we are incorporating more technical vocabulary, right? So that's why now we talk about not just phrases, but we talk about linguistic exponents in general, all right? Is that clear? Yes, good.
Yes. Sorry, Anna, can I say something?
Sure.
Rosario.
Yes, Rosario.
It is the same as we saw in Fundamentos, linguistics exponents.
Definitely,
The same.
definitely. That's
Okay.
the same thing. What you're going to see, what you're going to see is that whatever we do in fundamentals, you're going to be reflected is in written expression. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
Because
Good.
I thought first in Fundamentos, and
that means, like, for example, what are the linguistic exponents that we need to, I don't know, describe a map of a house. Let's suppose that we are reading an article about architecture, right? So what are, and it's the description of a map, right, of a house. What, just, we can hypothesize that what are the linguistic exponents? I mean, what vocabulary, what nouns, prepositions, and verbs are we going to find in that article? If we are talking about descriptions of a house, definitely prepositions, right? Prepositions of place. All right. There are, for example. So whenever we discuss linguistic exponents, we are referring to the language used with a purpose.
Okay.
Yes. Another question. Yes.
Can we say that we use academic vocabulary as a linguistic exponent in this?
No, because academic vocabulary, that would be like too broad, right? Here, I want to be specific, right? If I'm asking you, what linguistic exponents are used to introduce the benefits, you said the enumerators, such and such and such, the phrases, like, for example, the following, such as, okay? Imagine that I asked you, right? Read the conclusion. What linguistic exponents are used to introduce the conclusion? Let's see if I have it here. I'm just thinking of another article, but let's go to the conclusion. Well, no, but generally what we have in conclusions might start with, in short, in conclusion, to sum up, okay?
Here it says we can summarize.
Where? I can't find it.
The second sentence of the paragraph.
There are numerous follows. Okay, we can summarize. Perfect. There you are. Okay. So if I had asked you what linguistic exponents were used to introduce or to express the conclusion, you would say, okay, the authors used, we can summarize. Summarize. Okay. Yes. So remember, linguistic exponents refer to the language used. All right. Good. Good. We have 2 minutes. Okay, this critical thinking synthesizing is what you wrote in the forum, right? Which was okay. And the focus of this lesson was to revise and enlarge our knowledge on cohesion and coherence, okay? So what we seen last year about cohesion, what we saw, sorry, last year about cohesion and coherence are these devices here. We discussed direct repetition, lexical chains, substitution, referencing, and by reference, we mean, remember, anaphoric and cataphoric reference, the use of synonyms and antonyms, the use of articles, ellipses, connectors, and ellipses, right? So the idea is that here you have to complete the first column with what you remember from these devices. And then the second column, you would have to write what you wanted to focus on. And then after completing all the exercises, what you learned about it. Okay, people, we have 1 minute and some seconds. I'm going to ask you that the moment the connection breaks, you come into the meeting again, okay? So we can continue.
Okay.
Yes, because what we are going to do now is to check at least these part of these exercises. Then if we can't cover the whole chapter, we are going to do it next class, okay? Remember that for next class, you have to read the first 7 chapters of Atonement, all right? Are you reading that? Yes? Okay, we are running out of time, less than a minute, but the moment you connect again, try to have this document with you, okay? So I'm going to